Wonder Woman is one of the greatest to ever step foot on the panel of a comic, the frame of a movie, a scene of a series. She is simply a GOAT. Diana is also easily the most underrated hero in the Mount Rushmore, and she most definitely needs more love. But her villains are even more underrated than she is, which sucks especially because they're such interesting characters. Wonder Woman has some of the most slept on rogues of all time. I've been reading a lot of Absolute Wonder Woman, and this run has genuinely made me understand Diana and appreciate her so much more as a character. I feel like I genuinely understand her personality, everything she represents, and why she is the way she is. And that last video I made on her got me extra interested in her villains, especially. I understand Diana, but what do her villains got going on? First and foremost, I gotta bring up one of, if not Diana's greatest adversary of all time, Cheetah. Since I was a wee lad, for as long as I've known about Wonder Woman, Cheetah has always been there to box. She's there in every team-up movie, every Justice League series, etc, etc. The movies. I'm somebody who still don't know a whole lot about Wonder Woman's history yet, but it feels safe to say Cheetah is her biggest villain. Her Joker, her Lex Luthor, her Sinestro, her Thawne. I know there's been 2 or 3 different Cheetahs, but the most popular is definitely Barbara and Minerva. She was an archaeologist on some Nico Robin timing, but she was cursed by the gods and transformed into, you guessed it, a jaguar. She basically has all the classic superhuman enhancements of Doom, the heightened senses, speed, agility, strength, the whole 9. But seeing as she's fading Wonder Woman of all heroes, she gotta be extra superhuman or something. This is the greatest warrior in all of comics we're talking about here. I also don't know how canon this is, but these two either have some romance undertones going on or it's a one-sided obsession. I don't really remember, but I vaguely remember something going on in the background. I love the wide variety of Cheetah designs we've seen throughout the years. There's like a sliding scale of how human versus animal they make her look. The fact that they used to be friends makes their dynamic so interesting because you just know Diana would reach her hand out to save her old friend if she let her. She's all about compassion and empathy, so of course she's tried, probably a million times. I never really understood why these two were arch enemies for the longest, but it kind of feels right that Diana, who was blessed by the gods, would be forced into this rivalry with Barbara, who was cursed by the gods. It just makes sense. Also, why are there so many Barbaras in DC Comics? I'm only thinking about 2 right now, but that's like a lot, no? There's not 2 Peter. Well, they're actually, Marvel got hella Peters too. There's just so many duplicate names in comics. I don't really have a good grasp on her personality yet though. I just know she hates, or maybe loves, question mark, Diana so much. But the fact that there's been multiple Cheetahs is so interesting to me because Diana has just fought multiple people who have been cursed to become Cheetahs who also like hate her. How does that feel for Diana, having to go through this whole thing multiple times, and this most recent time it's with your homie? Yo, that would suck. But also, I don't know, Wonder Woman has some weird golden age, silver age retcons going on. I don't know where the canon fits in. Is the canon even real these days? Has the canon ever been real? I don't know. I just think it's interesting that there have been multiple Cheetahs that Diana has had to fight. That's kind of cool. We've also finally seen her in Absolute Wonder Woman, and she looks so tough. Peep out, she got a lot of regular human skin mixed in with the cheetah fur here. Like half her face is still human, which is actually really cool because it ends up looking like a kind of mask type situation. Like it looks like she has a cowl on, but that's literally just the fur meeting her human skin. That's tough. This version of the character also 100% isn't Barbara Minerva because she's still Wonder Woman's homie and a regular human, and also like right next to her in this very chapter, in this very scene. I'm really excited to see what she ends up being like, and especially what Diana's relationship with her is gonna be like. Like, is Barbara still gonna become Cheetah eventually or not? You know what would be crazy? What if Barbara's already cursed and we just didn't see it yet? What if she just hasn't? I don't know. I'm just reaching. I'm grasping for straws, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just saying shit. Also, Cheetah's powers come from magic, so she's automatically way more busted than you would think she is. All the magic niggas in comics are just cracked. They're all cracked. They're all broken. Overpowered as hell. And that honestly makes sense as to why Cheetah's able to box with Diana, why Cheetah's in all these Justice League team up versus villain movies. If you have magic in comics, you can just box with anybody. One villain Absolute Wonder Woman put me on to especially was Queen Clea. In this series, Clea is an Atlantean who was the queen of an underwater maze, except this maze is actually a prison and she's the monster of this maze instead of this literal minotaur we see. Shout out Ferdinand. Clea's a prisoner too, but she's on some prison mob gang leader shit, so all these fishmen bow to her. Her personality is so interesting though because she's the most arrogant, conceited, sadistic, self-serving motherfucker on the face of the earth. So of course Diana absolutely bodies her, but she ends up freeing everyone. everyone, including Clea from the maze. This is where Diana's endless, overwhelming compassion shines so much, cause she just hopes that she's not making a mistake by freeing her. She's still gonna free her, she just hopes she's doing the right thing. She's trusting that the maze f***ed her head up, and that's not just how she's always been. I like that her compassion could be perceived as naive here, and she even doubts her decision. It's interesting seeing what makes her falter a little bit. I hope Clea comes back even angrier, cause I wonder how that would make Diana question her ideals, or if it even would at all. Also, shout out Clea's design. The trident is really what's bringing the whole Atlantean of it all together. Granted, she was like faking being an Amazonian or an Amazon in the Absolute run, so maybe that's why she don't look super Atlantean. But shout out that trident. But peep how Diana stole her whole flow, took the trident, made it look even cooler. She's so cool, bro. She's so cool. Giganta is another major Wonder Woman villain I've been familiar with for a while now. I think my intro to this character was Justice League Unlimited, and she was boxing everybody in that series. She's literally just a titan, dog. How could you not love this? I just love that because of how powerful Diana is, her villains either gotta be hella crafty or the most overwhelming forces of nature you've ever bore witness to. Giganta be using her whole environment as a weapon too, on some King Kong shit, which is so much fun. Apparently in her OG origin, she was literally a gorilla that was turned into a human, so I guess this tracks. F it, I guess. They be doing anything in comics. Also in Justice League Unlimited, she was also a gorilla, but she was turned into a giant human by Gorilla Grodd, if I'm not mistaken. She also had so much personality in Justice League Unlimited. Like, it was genuinely so much fun seeing her on screen. I know Steven would cry tears of joy if he found out this character exists. Absolute Giganta was also just introduced at the same time as Cheetah, and this is already the coldest version of the character. Look at this design. She's going to be Hall of Fame. I can already see it. Giganta's probably one of my favorite Wonder Woman villains because of the spectacle of it all. Like, you know what? Yeah, Diana should be banging out with a literal giant. Oh yeah, I guess I never explained her powers, but you get it. She grows. I don't know how big she gets, but she grows a lot. Dr. Poison is a villain that's super interesting to me because this character is not no brute force ass overwhelming power type of character. This is one of those crafty villains that use chemical warfare instead of straight hands. Granted, I also don't know that much about Dr. Poison either. A lot of different people have taken up the mantle, but my favorite has got to be Absolute Dr. Poison. Come on, dog. This run is perfect. Who else would have been my favorite? This version of the character has to be stuck in this suit because she's literally made of poison gas now. Like, dog. Caesar Clown? Can you tell I like One Piece? I think it's fun that she don't even try to fight Diana. She just pleads and makes a deal, because if I'm a smart motherfucker made of poison, I ain't boxing Diana up the Wild Isle either. And then of course there's Circe too. This is probably one of Wonder Woman's biggest villains, right up there with Cheetah too. She's a sorceress witch, so you know she's overpowered as hell. Magic characters in comics are just able to bang out with literally anybody, Superman included. There was an episode of Justice League Unlimited where she turned Diana into a pig for the entire episode. Like, how do you fight that? They had Batman singing his heart out on stage to free her, dog. You aren't beating Circe in no normal way. Funnily enough, Zatanna was also in that episode, if I'm remembering right. And that's like, hey, wait a minute. All y'all niggas is an absolute Wonder Woman now. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? That's cool as hell. I still gotta watch Creature Commandos too, because that's probably the coldest design of the character I've seen. Hey, shout out Absolute Circe though. You raised an absolute goat. I don't know if I'm making this memory up, but like easily 10 years ago, there was a mission in DC Universe Online that involved Circe in some way, shape, or form. I just remember Oracle in my OC's ears talking about some Circe is on the run, fight Circe, beat Circe. I don't know if Circe was on our side this time. I think she was a boss battle or something. I don't remember. I just remember Circe being in that game. Is that game still like a thing that's like happening right now? That would be crazy if it is. This game is old as hell. Whatever DCU Wonder Woman movie is gonna be about, I just hope either Circe or Giganta or both of them are the villains of that movie, dog. Please. There's other villains like Ares, who's the god of war, so like of course he's gonna be thematically opposed to Diana. And Dr. Psycho just straight up hates women. Like, this is just an incel ass nigga, but with powers. Veronica Cale is somebody I'm super interested to see more of, because she's like the main villain of Absolute Wonder Woman they've been building up to in the background this whole time. And also, it's especially so cool that she's literally working with Absolute Joker, and they're on some business partner timing. They both hate their heroes of their cities, bro. They're trying to get them packed up. Also, Veronica Cale in this universe is the founder of the Justice League, except that they're actually the Legion of Doom, but like they're calling themselves the Justice League. The Absolute Universe is just cooking. They're cooking. Peak. But I'm really lit as seeing Absolute Zatanna the out here. She's already like that, dog. She done stole Diana's magic already. She's a part of this universe's Suicide Squad, which is also neat because this is basically just Villainy Inc., aka Diana's Sinister Six with the Suicide Squad name. Diana, you're an absolute goat, but these motherfuckers are going to jump you. But this roster is insane. I'm not gonna lie, Diana, you might gotta go. You might have to run. I don't know who this fish person is though. Am I supposed to know? Have we seen him already? Zatanna got some shit going on with Diana in this series, dog. You see how she's talking to her? Everybody's in love with you, Diana. I think they should just be a polycule. You feel me? Zatanna being a villain right now is so tough to me. She's talking like she really like that. She said, look, bro, Veronica, she underestimated you. I'm smarter than her. I'm not gonna underestimate you, so I'm gonna take your magic like a real nigga I am. I'm taking your magic and then I'm frying you with it. Zatanna's got it. Also, her suit is fire. I heard that it's like a reference to one of Wonder Woman's like super old redesigns. This design is cool though. Shorter hair Zatanna is cool. But I've been so excited to get into Wonder Woman's villains and just see what they got going on. Shout out Giganta especially, and shout out Circe especially. Clea genuinely surprised me. Shout out Clea. Dr. Poison, like all of her villains in the Absolute universe look so cool, and they're all so interesting, and they're very different too. Dr. Psycho, somebody I really only knew from Harley Quinn's show. I didn't even know that he was a Wonder Woman villain until like halfway through that first season. I'm not gonna lie, Dr. Psycho's a fitting name. Dr. Poison's really interesting too. I think it's fun that there's been many different Dr. Poisons. I'm just excited to see where this character goes, but we need that animated series desperately. Like, desperately. Hey, let's get the development back on that game going. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's canceled and probably scrapped, deleted everything, but bring the files back. I'm sorry, bring the files back. But yeah, shout out Wonder Woman's villains and shout out you.
I can't feel my face right now. I'm burning up. I got this feeling that I won't come down. Like, got this feeling that I won't come down. Like, got this feeling that I won't come down.